Section 1. Fauci versus GOP cage match? More like Science Smackdown. Remember 2020? Pandemic pandemonium, toilet paper shortages, people turning into amateur sourdough bakers. Good times, right? But amidst the chaos, another battle raged, the origin of COVID-19. In one corner, we had Dr. Fauci, America's doctor, armed with scientific consensus. In the other, some Republicans, loaded with skepticism and alternative theories. Things came to a head during a congressional hearing that was less a meeting of the minds and more a verbal brawl. It was like watching a nature documentary where a calm, bespectacled scientist tries to reason with a pack of agitated chihuahuas. Fauci, with his decades of experience battling infectious diseases, found himself defending the scientific process against a barrage of politically charged questions. The Republicans, smelling blood in the water, or maybe just the faint whiff of a conspiracy theory, went on the offensive. Armed with anecdotal evidence and fueled by a distrust of anything coming from a Democrat-led administration, they grilled Fauci relentlessly. It was a classic case of Washington theater, high on drama, low on actual scientific discourse. Section 2. Bat soup or lab leak. The arguments get spicy. Let's break down the main arguments, shall we? The scientific community, with Fauci as its champion, overwhelmingly supported the zoonotic origin theory. This theory posits that the virus jumped from animals to humans, likely from bats to an intermediary animal and then to us. Think of it like a game of viral hot potato, but instead of burning your hand, you get a global pandemic. This theory wasn't just a hunch, mind you. It was backed by years of research on coronaviruses and their tendency to jump species. Plus, similar outbreaks like SARS had followed this pattern. But some Republicans weren't buying it. They clung to the lab leak theory, which suggests the virus accidentally escaped from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. This theory, while not impossible, lacked concrete evidence. Proponents pointed to the lab's proximity to the initial outbreak and some early research on bat coronaviruses. However, they often cherry-picked data while ignoring the lack of evidence for a specific virus being studied that closely resembled SARS-CoV-2. The debate quickly became less about science and more about politics. Republicans, already suspicious of China, used the lab leak theory to criticize the Biden administration's handling of the pandemic and their relationship with China. It was a convenient narrative, whether or not it held water. Section 3. Fauci throws punches. Science defends itself. Fauci, bless his patient soul, repeatedly tried to inject some actual science into the proceedings. He calmly explained the overwhelming evidence supporting the zoonotic origin, pointing to numerous studies and the biological characteristics of the virus itself. He emphasized that while the lab leak theory couldn't be completely dismissed, it was highly improbable and lacked any real evidence. He even pointed out that many prominent scientists who initially expressed openness to the lab leak theory had since changed their minds based on the accumulating evidence. But his pleas for reason often fell on deaf ears. The Republicans, determined to paint a picture of a cover-up, continued their line of questioning, often interrupting Fauci and dismissing his expertise. It was like watching a middle school science teacher try to explain evolution to a room full of conspiracy theorists who believe the Earth is flat. The hearing became a microcosm of the larger issue plaguing American discourse: the erosion of trust in experts and the politicization of science itself. Section 4. GOP grills. Fauci, conspiracy theories on the menu. The Republican line of questioning often veered into the realm of speculation and insinuation. They accused Fauci of funding gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab, implying that he indirectly funded the creation of the virus. Fauci, visibly frustrated, debunked this claim, explaining that the research in question was not gain-of-function and was conducted with transparency. He emphasized that understanding how viruses evolve is crucial for developing vaccines and treatments for future outbreaks. But the accusations stuck, amplified by conservative media outlets and social media echo chambers. The hearing became a platform for promoting distrust in public health officials and sowing doubt about the scientific process. Some Republicans even went so far as to suggest that the entire pandemic was a hoax or a deliberate attempt by China to weaken the West. These claims, while lacking any factual basis, resonated with a segment of the population already primed to distrust authority and embrace alternative narratives. The hearing highlighted a dangerous trend. the weaponization of misinformation for political gain. By casting doubt on the origins of the virus and the motives of scientists, some Republicans were able to score political points and undermine trust in public health measures. Section 5. Why this matters, public trust, and the future of pandemics. Now, you might be thinking, John, this is all very entertaining, but why should I care about a bunch of politicians yelling at each other? Well, dear viewers, this is about more than just a political food fight. This is about public trust in science, and that impacts all of us. When people lose faith in the scientific process, it becomes harder to address real-world problems like pandemics, climate change, and even the safety of vaccines. If we can't agree on basic facts and rely on evidence-based decision-making, we're in for a bumpy ride. Imagine trying to convince a flat earther to wear a seatbelt because, gravity. It's an uphill battle. The Fauci GOP clash wasn't just about COVID origins. It was a symptom of a larger societal illness, the polarization of truth. And until we address that, we'll be stuck in a constant loop of misinformation and distrust, leaving us vulnerable to the next pandemic, the next crisis, the next time we need to listen to the experts. So, the next time you see a headline about a political brawl over science, remember, it's not just entertainment. It's about the future of our health, our planet, and our ability to face challenges together, grounded in facts, not fiction.